Hi everyone, and welcome to this lunchtime revision live stream with me, Liz from Tutored to You Health and Social Care team, and Lynn. Hi Lynn.
Hi everyone.
Happy New Year to you, Lynn, and to everyone at home, school or college. I'm assuming some of you might be at home on a snow day, especially if you're up north somewhere. We had snow this morning, but it's all melted already, which is a bit boring. So I can see that Jodie's already very excited in the chat for today's live about the live stream and the exam, she says. So that's a great start to the year for Jodie. Hopefully everyone else is excited too. So let's load up our PowerPoint. Okay, I can see Shama is saying hi. Linetti is saying, unfortunately, no, I assume no snow or no snow day. So having to study today. Okay, so we are going to look at life events today, and Lynn was just saying this is her favourite, so that's exciting. Yeah, Linetti's saying no snow day for them today. That's a shame. Maybe there's still time for a snow day this week. We will see. Okay, so you guys at home know how to do this. We will post some questions on the screen, some activities, and you can type your answers in the chat. So let's start with our first activity. So we're going to start off nice and straightforward. Can you give us 3 positive effects of starting school? This could be starting school in reception, year 1, or it could be starting middle school or secondary school, depending on how it works where you guys live. So let's start the timer.
Brilliant. And remember, these positive effects could come from any of the pies. So think about that.
Ruby's in straight away, says Linetti, and Jodie. Some really good answers coming through, Lynn.
Brilliant. Some people have been doing their revision over the holidays.
They have.
That's great.
Katie as well. And Lauren too. Brilliant.
Okay.
let me know what we've got then, Lim.
Yeah, so brilliant. We've got, let's start with let's start with Ruby. She talked about socializing and meeting different people. Great. Lynette's talked about making friends, develop skills. We could be more specific and say what skills maybe. Form relationships with teachers. Great. Jodie's talked about confidence building, a new start. So you could develop that and say, what do you mean by new start? Katie's talked about more socialization, increased independence, and develop skill. So again, you could say what skills. And we've got Victoria, meet new friends, learn new skills, and build independence. So some very similar ones coming up there. Lauren's talked about very similar things. Hi, Penny's talked about intellectual development. And Shema has talked about, forming new friendships, socializing, and confidence. So a lot of similarity there.
Brilliant. Everyone can have a round of applause. Really good start.
Yeah, really good.
So let's have a look at ours
as well, which is really good.
So we've got making new friends, building formal relationships, opportunities to learn new knowledge and skills. I was thinking as well, you could incorporate physical development in there, couldn't you? Because you could talk about opportunities to play sport, to develop your gross motor skills, maybe also doing art classes to develop fine motor skills. So there's loads that we can get from that. Well done, everyone.
Excellent.
Okay, let's have a look at our next activity. Over to you for this one, Lynn.
Okay, so this is a categorise activity. So we're going to give you 60 seconds on the clock, and you'll see all the phrases there on the right-hand side of the screen. And we want you to separate them into two different categories. So which ones of those phrases relate to predictable life events? And which ones of those phrases relate to unpredictable events? So you could just write in the chat predictable and then give us the numbers, and then unpredictable and give us the numbers. So let's take it away, Liz. 60 seconds this time. Yeah, 60 seconds.
See, Jodie's already got some answers in there. Very quick.
Very speedy writing.
It's all that time spent on their phones.
Yeah, they're super quick, fast typers, aren't they?
Maybe we didn't need 60 seconds for this one.
No, I don't know whether we did, because actually I'm seeing some really great answers. Really accurate answers as well, actually. So everyone's been doing their revision over the holidays, definitely. I'm just checking them, Liz, as they've come in, and everyone's right. Ruby, you've added one extra one on. So you just need 4 for each one, actually.
Okay, I saw someone that looked definitely correct. So Katie said predictable 3, 5, 6 and 7. So parenthood, marriage, starting school and retirement. And then Sharma, I can see they're saying unpredictable, 1, acute ill health, 2, serious injury, 4, redundancy, and 8, divorce, which sounds right to me. Shall we have a look?
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. So just to clarify, acute ill health means like a sudden onset of something quite serious. So that could be something like heart disease, heart attack, or it could be something less serious, but nevertheless not that you predict, like getting chickenpox, for example. So that's an acute ill health episode. So it comes on very quickly, and you wouldn't be able to predict it. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at our next activity. We are now doing some true or false, so you guys can give us a T or an F, thumbs up, thumbs down, smiley face, sad face. We do not mind. So number 1, leaving prison is a predictable life event. What do we think? True or false?
Pop in the chat. As a general rule, yeah. When you get sentenced to prison, do you then leave prison?
Let's have a little look. Saying true.
Yeah, well done.
Okay, next one. Retirement may lead to loss of contact with work colleagues. Is this true or false?
Have a think.
Okay, we've got lots of trues coming through.
Yeah, brilliant. And remember, retirement is when you get to later adulthood and then you stop working, because you enter into a period of retirement where you don't work and you take on different hobbies and skills and spend more time doing things like being a grandparent.
Yeah, and the importance of what we've got on the screen, I suppose, loss of contact with work colleagues, is you could relate that then to an impact on your social or emotional development, couldn't you? So you might feel lonely, you might have less opportunities to go out and socialise. So let's always think about the impact of these things, especially as our exam is on Friday.
Yeah, and remember, impact can be positive and negative. So yeah.
Okay, birth of a sibling can lead to jealousy or rivalry. Lynette's just asking, the exam is 1 hour 30 minutes, right? Yes, it is. 90 minutes exam. So birth of a sibling can lead to jealousy or rivalry.
And Shama saying true. Ruby saying true.
Yep.
Yeah, Katie's true. Lynette's true. I think, yeah, absolutely.
So that could affect emotional or social well-being, couldn't it? If the birth of a sibling, you might feel that you're being left out, you're not getting the attention of your parents. It could affect your social life, I suppose, if your parents are too busy with a new baby to take you to see your friends and so on. Okay, next one. The Holmes-Rahe Social Readjustment Rating Scale, that's such a mouthful, identifies 34 life events. Is that true or is that false? What do we think? Are there 34 life events on that scale? Okay, Katie and Annette, really quick saying false.
Okay. If you're saying false, why? What would you say instead then?
Yeah, how many?
How many would you say there are?
Everyone's saying false.
Okay. So yeah, extra question. How many are there actually on the readjustment rating scale?
Jodie says, it's 43!
43! Yeah, well done. Good. And if you haven't revised that, remember that's one to go and have a look at. Holmes-Rahe Social Readjustment Rating Scale.
Yeah. You're probably not going to get a question that asks you how many life events are on it, but do research the scale. So I think the next question is to do with this as well. So according to the Holmes-Rahe Social Readjustment Rating Scale, the most stressful life event is being fired from work. Is this true or is this false?
What do you think? Have you looked at the ones that are at the top of the scale as being the most stressful? So few people. I think Lynette's coming in now as false.
Yeah, everyone's coming through as false.
Katie, Victoria.
So challenge question then. What is the most stressful life event according to the scale? What gives you the most points on the scale? Does anyone know?
A little look.
Okay, and Arnett is saying the highest is around 100, which is like loss of a partner, I think. Exactly, yes. Death of a spouse, loss of the partner does give you 100 points. Well done. Air horn for Annette.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay, I think that was our last true or false. So let's think more about the Holmes-Rahe Social Readjustment Scale. Can you give us some facts about it? So this could be features of it, things you know about it, pretty much anything really. Give us 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and we'll give you a 30-second timer. Just tell us anything you know about it.
Yeah, what have you revised about this? Somebody didn't know anything about this tip, what would you tell them?
Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Jodie. And Katie.
Okay, so we've got Arnetty says LCU means life change units. Okay, brilliant. Jodie said a list of life events over a 2-year span. The more points you have, the more likely you're going to develop an illness.
Nice.
And Arnetty talks about the higher your overall score, the more likely you are to break down. So feel mentally unwell or fall ill. Brilliant. Victoria said it shows who's more likely to be unwell if they have a lot of points. So brilliant. Lots of people linking the points to the likelihood of feeling mentally or, physically unwell. And Linetti, they use life scale units and there's 43 life events. Shamar says there's 43. The higher the points, the more likely of illness. So brilliant. Everyone's got a good kind of understanding of what the scale is there for.
There's just one from Katie that you missed, Lynn, which I quite liked. Katie said it's a scale which has the most impactful life events as the highest score. I like that use of impactful. We need to think about the impact of all of these things in our answers, don't we? Especially those like 6 and 10 mark answers. Okay, let's have a look at our answers for this one then. So we have said it's a self-assessment tool, so you can self-assess using this tool that measures the amount of stress a person has experienced recently. You can also have this tool used by a healthcare professional with you as well. And then it aims to determine whether the person is at risk of becoming unwell due to their level of stress, which is basically what all of you guys have said. So well done, brilliant work. Round of applause.
Excellent.
Okay. Over to you for this one, Lynn.
Okay, so you've got 2 minutes and we're going to give you a series of questions. Okay, so maybe if we click the next slide, Liz, this will make more sense. So we want you to give us 3 life events that you know that are on the Holmes-Rahe scale. Okay, 2 positive effects of marriage and 1 negative effect of imprisonment. Okay, so 2 minutes. And maybe you start with the top one and then work your way down. Okay, we don't have a timer, I don't think, do we, on this one, Liz?
We do, yeah.
Oh,
it's my
we've got funky
music.
Like our Austin Powers type music.
Yeah.
Let's see what answers come through. We've already had a few people talk about different life events, so let's see if we can get a list of at least 3.
You could also give us more than 2 positive effects of marriage and more than 1 negative effect of imprisonment, if you can think of them.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, we've got a few answers coming in from Ruby, Ma, and Nettie. People a bit longer. Okay, we've got lots of answers coming in now, Liz, which is great. Well done, Katie. Well done, Victoria.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I've been looking through all of these, Lynn. Loads of answers coming through. I'm going to go with Katie for that first one. So 3 life events on the Holmes-Rahe scale. Katie said loss of a partner, redundancy and pregnancy. Nice, straightforward. And then positive effects of marriage. We've had some really, really good ones. Quite a nice range as well. So some of the ones that I noticed, Lynn, was about higher self-concept and having more confidence, which I really like.
Really nice.
Someone said something about, good emotional well-being and less likely to break down. That was Annette. Katie said financial and emotional support. I like that because we often forget about the financial side of things. Victoria can rely on partner, more confidence. Any that you've seen, Lynn, that we should add?
Well, just in terms of marriage or any of them?
Yeah, marriage, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, in terms of marriage, no, very similar to what you've said. Sorry, I was looking more at the negative effects of
Sorry.
imprisonment, because there were
Yeah,
some good
so
ones there.
what have we got for negative effects of imprisonment, Lim?
Yeah, so antisocial behaviour, so
Yeah, okay.
increased exposure to antisocial behaviour, which I really liked. Social disengagement, Shema, which was really good, and sort of social isolation, which
Yep.
is really good. So well done. Yeah, some excellent answers
I
there.
like this one about low self-esteem because you feel you've failed your family.
Yeah,
Nice
that's really nice.
explanation there. A couple of people talked about mental health
Mental health.
issues. Yeah, so
Yeah.
anxiety and depression, for example. Just see, loss of independence.
Really good. And
Yeah.
just try and be as specific as possible with your answers. Yeah, so don't be too vague. So when you're talking about maybe change of lifestyle, be specific about sort of what you mean by that and how that might happen.
Yeah.
And if you talk about mental ill health, putting an example like Jodie has of anxiety and depression is really good.
Yeah.
It can definitely help you get those marks.
And using key terms is a good way to be more specific, isn't it? So let's just scroll through. So life events on the Holmes-Rahe scale. We've got divorce, death of a spouse, major illness or injury, which I think are quite near the top of that scale. In terms of positive effects of marriage, we said improve self-esteem due to contentment. So there's a way of expanding your answer and also using a key term, so contentment. Informal support from spouse. A lot of you have talked about informal support from a spouse, whether it's emotional or financial, so well done. And then negative effect of imprisonment, we said loss of independence, but there are many, many effects of that, as we know. Okay, let's see what our next one is. Okay, so on the screen now, we've got 3, 6, 9 short sentences. I want to know which of these are possible negative effects of parenthood. So we talk a lot about the positives of parenthood, but what are some of the negatives? So if you see one on there that you think is relevant, for example, poor quality or lack of sleep is leaping out at me, Lynn, as a parent. So I would just write B2 in the chat if that was my answer. So you guys go ahead, review those things on the screen and let us know which are possible negative effects of parenthood.
Yeah, brilliant. There's quite a few, so I'll give that as a little hint.
Yeah.
So definitely list more than one.
And if you want to get extra brownie points and an air horn, maybe tell us why. So say B2, poor quality or lack of sleep. Why is that a negative effect of parenthood? What's going on there?
Okay. So Shema's come in with 3C. So talking about loss of friends and social isolation. Because might be inside a lot looking after your children, especially when they're babies. You might lose friends that maybe don't have children and they're off doing different things like traveling, for example.
Or if you're on maternity leave from work, that could mean that you're not with your usual social networks.
Absolutely.
There you go. Victoria's given us a nice rationale for 3C there. Look, you focus more of your time on your family since your kids are relying on you. Yeah, nice.
Brilliant. And Lauren's come in with quite a few. So she's talked about 3A, anxiety and worry about being good enough as a parent, because obviously you've changed your role and your identity potentially. 3C, you've also talked about loss of friends and social isolation. 2B, we've got absolutely, as you said, Liz, poor quality of sleep. 2A, low mood or depression. Absolutely. Because of your change of position, you could also be susceptible and experience postnatal depression if you've just had a baby as well, for example. And then 1C, confusion or memory issues. Not quite so sure about that one necessarily. Well, maybe a lack of sleep could have an impact on that.
Interesting you say that, Lynn, because I actually read a research paper over the Christmas period which said that during pregnancy and immediately after, women's brains actually shrink a little bit. And it can affect your memory. And the reason it does it is so that your brain can focus on meeting the needs of your infant. So, as part of that being biologically primed to attach to your infant, your brain shrinks slightly to focus on that. So I think Lauren could be correct, actually.
Okay.
And we do talk about, what do we call it? Pregnancy brain, mum brain.
Yeah, and you sort of brain fog, some of those type of things, don't you? Yeah. So there's some scientific evidence behind that. So thanks, Liz. And Nettie says you spend more time taking care of your kids and you can't be going out a lot, especially if you're young. Your friendship could, not necessarily leave you out, but could absolutely leave you out. And then you talk about you might not feel good enough, especially as you start comparing yourself to other parents. I think that's a great answer.
Yeah,
So
really good.
absolutely, parenting is very challenging.
Baby
So,
brain, someone said. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Baby
that's
brain.
the word
Thank
we were
you.
both
Yes.
thinking of. Well done. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at our answers. So we have got guilt about relationship with partner. So that it can cause issues, can't it? If you maybe, you feel like you're spending all your time with the baby and you're not spending time with your partner. Or for a father, they could feel, it doesn't have to be a father, does it? You could have two mums, you could have two dads. The person that returns to work maybe might feel guilt about leaving that person to take care of the infant. Low mood or depression, so we can have changes in our mood because of pregnancy, and that can happen for males and females. Poor quality or lack of sleep, because babies wake up a lot. They need a lot of feeding, they need a lot of attention. Anxiety and worry about being good enough, you guys have covered that really well. Could affect your self-image. It could give you a poorer self-image. On the flip side, it could improve your self-image, but we're focusing on negatives, aren't we? I didn't include confusion or memory issues because generally that is more associated with aging or pathological things like dementia, with the caveat of baby brain. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's see what we've got next. Okay, over to you for this one, Lynn.
Okay, so we've got our big fish here. So this is red herring. We're going to give you 4 items and we want you to work out which one is the odd one out, but also tell us in the chat why it's the odd one out. Okay, so we'll put our first list of 4 on the board here. Draw on your knowledge from what we've been doing in the live streams this lunchtime. So we've got divorce, death of a spouse, changing to new school, and marital separation. Which one do you think's the odd one out? And also tell us why in the chat. These are jumping out as being all types of something, but what makes one of them different to the others? Think about what you know about the topic this afternoon.
Okay, Sharma's saying C, all the others linked to partners. Okay. That's quite a good rationale. It's not the why that we've got, but that's a good one.
But it's definitely feasible, isn't it?
Yeah. I agree, it's the red herring. Changing to a new school is the odd one out. Any other reasons why it might be the odd one out? Victoria's saying all the others are bad life events. Yep.
Okay. Another term for that?
What's the key word for Unit 1 that we can use here, guys?
Rather than bad life events, we sort of talk about life events and certain types of them, don't we?
Okay, I am going to reveal. I'm sure everyone's shouting at home. So it is changing to a new school. The other 3 are the most stressful according to Holmes-Rahe. And you could also say that the other 3 are unpredictable. So IMED, unpredictable, Arnett saying the same thing.
Well
Fabulous. Done. Okay, next one. We have A, leaving home, B, starting nursery, C, parenthood, D, redundancy. Which one of these is the odd one out and why?
Okay. See what people think. Just give us a letter and a reason. Okay, so Nettie says redundancy because it's unpredictable, whereas leaving home, starting nursery and parenthood are all more predictable life events. I think that sounds sensible to me.
I think so.
Well done.
I also thought that you could say that leaving home, starting nursery and parenthood are all part of like developing your independence and
absolutely.
Okay,
I think we might have.
I think the next one is our last activity of the stream, Lynn. Let's have a look. So red herring, which one is the red herring? Is it bereavement, beginning employment, accident or injury, or divorce? Which is the odd one out?
Okay, let's have a look. Just give us a letter in the chat.
I can think of a couple of ways to rationalise this as well.
Yeah.
So we'll accept multiple reasons why. Okay.
Yeah.
Annette says employment because it's positive.
Positive. Okay.
And
all
Sharma
the
says the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Victoria says beginning employment because it's predictable.
Yeah.
Jodie's saying, yeah, B, the others are negative. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely you're unpicking those different life events about predictability, unpredictability, positive, negative, really, really well. So that's really good. Well done.
I think that is the end, Lim. Oh no,
Oh,
got one more.
No, yeah, I think we've got one more. Haven't we got a connection spinner, I thought, as well?
We have.
So,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
Getting
give me
away.
3, and that's because we've had such good answers this afternoon. So give me 3 negative effects of redundancy. Okay, so think about what you know about redundancy. We're not talking about retirement, but we're talking about redundancy. Why might that be negative? Think about that. Check with all these life events you're really comfortable with all the different words as well, what they mean. Okay, so
just while we wait for people to type their answers, Lynn. So redundancy, just to be clear, is when you lose your job because you're no longer required. For example, maybe the business is reduced in size and they don't have a job for you anymore. It's usually comes as a surprise, but you normally get a notice period, so you get a few weeks to kind of find a new job and so on.
Yeah. So we've got Annette says you might feel bad about depending on other people. So a negative effect can be a financial impact, can't it? And then you might have to depend on others. Therefore, you won't be able to afford healthy lifestyle like going to the gym or a good diet. So absolutely sort of a financial impact, and then what the impact of that is. And then talking about leading to stress and mental unwellness. So you might be really anxious about your next job, for example. Shama's talked about struggling financially. Victoria's talked about depression. It can obviously affect your self-concept. So that could be your self-image, your self-esteem, because obviously you're unemployed and can't afford their lifestyle. Shama's then talked about negative self-esteem. Victoria, I think you sort of might be talking about low mood there, for example. So yeah, really good. Fabulous. So think about the impact on any of your pies. Just remember that if you're a bit stuck on a negative effect or a positive effect, think through the different pies and think if you can come up with a physical, intellectual, emotional, social reason, that will help you. And especially if you need to give a longer answer as well, that can really help.
Brilliant. Okay, I just want to give a special round of applause for Annette on that one for giving us good explanations as to why. Well done. Okay, you're right, Lynn. We do have connection spinners. Okay, so how is development positively affected by? And it could land on any of these. So I'm going to spin and see where we land. So how is development positively affected by?
Good to see a positive question, actually, because we focus a lot on the negatives, don't we?
Yeah. Give us some reasons why you could be positively affected by leaving home.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys will be good at this one because it's probably on your radar.
Yeah. And think about any of your key terms that you could use as well.
So Sharma's saying gaining independence. Victoria said at the same time more independence. Yeah, really good.
Fantastic.
Shall we see what we've got?
Yeah, I think we've got quite a nice long list here. We've got increased independence and self-esteem, got freedom to make your own choices, which previously may be limited if your parents have been more, directive about what you should and shouldn't do. Therefore, in terms of your sexuality, dating, employment, and hobbies. So that's great.
So that's kind of giving an expansion, isn't it? Like you've got more independence and self-esteem because you're free to make choices, because they might have been limited in these terms. Annette said you could learn how to manage by yourself, learning new skills, exploring hobbies. Yeah, really nice. Okay, and then another connection spinner. How is development positively affected by promotion?
Oh, yes, promotion. We all want that, don't we? So, we get promoted. How are you positively affected?
So promotion would be possibly more responsibility, Could be more pay as well.
Yeah.
More senior position in the business.
Yeah. Might be managing people. So yeah, Seamus come up with a great one, more financially secure. So that's a really good one, isn't it? So an economic impact there.
Any of our other pies? What do we think?
Yeah. Any emotional impacts potentially?
Victoria says increased responsibilities causing a high self-concept. Yeah, nice. Annette said better self-esteem because your hard work has paid off. You could have an increase in pay and learn new skills. Yeah, brilliant.
Really good.
Let's see what we said. Yeah.
So increase self-image as you'll see yourself as successful. So that's really good. And, you might feel that you're meeting your goals that you've set for yourself as well. Usually includes an increase in salary or wages. So you're able to afford a better standard of living. Great.
Brilliant. I just want to say one thing because we've got it right on the screen there. In most of the exam papers, if not all of them, for the last few years, there's been a question that asks you about something to do with self-concept, self-image and self-esteem. Make sure you're really confident in your definitions of those three things, and then you can give examples of, for example, increased self-image. So there we've said increased self-image because you'll see yourself as successful because you've been promoted at work. That shows that you understand what self-image means. So make sure you've got examples that link to self-image and examples that link to self-esteem. I think that is the end now, after my false alarm earlier, Lynn.
Yes.
So we are back with Unit 1 on Thursday at 5 p.m, aren't we, for effects of ageing? And that is the night before your exam. So yeah, do join us on Thursday. If you are doing Unit 3, come back in about 10 minutes. We will be doing lymphatic and immune system. If you're doing Unit 2, come back at, I can't remember what time it is. Is it 1:15, 1:30? I can't remember. 1:30. Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. And I am doing monitoring the work of health and social care professionals. So thank you so much. You've been brilliant. Have an applause and an air horn. I'll see you on Thursday.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Bye.